I just kind of assumed that the period would happen in my chest and armpits as well as my vagina.
My sexual misconceptions are a little counter to, I think, a lot of people's experience of having extremely conservative parents that were silent about the nature of sexuality. My parents were vocal. So I was raised by my mom, who's a comic book writer and a Celtic and Arthurian scholar. She ran a pagan coven in New York City for a long time. My dad was a stand-up comic. And then my stepfather, my pop, was, artsy, sculptor, interpretive dancer, bagpiper, massage therapist. He had a lot of hats that he wore. Sometimes the only thing he would be wearing was a hat. So I often felt at a loss. Some of my friends that were more clueless about the nature of sex and sexuality probably had a leg up on actually forming relationships. I think I knew that the clit was important before I knew how to talk to girls. There'll be a girl at a middle school party who's like, "Hi, what's your name?" And you're like, "I know where the clit is." That's a bad way to enter that conversation.
One of my sexpectations was that condoms were oral, like a pill that you took. I remember I was on my friend's trampoline and we were looking through a magazine and there's a photo of condoms on lollipop sticks. So I thought, oh, condoms are like something to be taken that prevents you from having a kid.
So growing up, I was obsessed with boobs. My mom had them, my aunt had them, everyone on television had them. Being flat-chested was not an option. My mom gave me a sex and growing up book and I was flipping through the pages don't care about actually sex in my body, I just want to get to the boob section. And in it was they come at puberty when your period comes. So I got my period when I was about 10 and no boobs came. I was looking oh shit. And a next door neighbor decided to kind of point it out. She was like, "Oh, I think boys would like you more if you had bigger boobs." And I'm in my mind screaming "Yeah, bitch, I know I need to get them." I'm ah. In my anxiety, I just blurted out, "Oh, well, I'm 12, so my boobs are gonna grow this summer." And all summer, I was like, "Come on, grow, grow, grow." And it never happened, and I went back to school trying to hide from her.
So if you haven't noticed, in movies and TV, whenever a couple is having sex, the woman always has her hair down. So when I was younger, I thought that you had to be having your hair down in order to be having sex. Ponytails are just like hymens.
I was really confused about how periods worked. When my mom was trying to explain to me how puberty worked, she mentioned you get hair in your armpits, your boobs get bigger, and you have a period. And I just kind of assumed that the period would happen in my chest and armpits as well as my vagina. So I was just really scared that I was randomly gonna start bleeding through my shirt and no one told me how to prevent that or what to wear.
So when I was maybe 9 years old, my dad was forced to give me the sex talk earlier than expected, but I was throwing around the word sex a lot. Just in any situation that I could think of, be "Yeah, that's pretty sexy," or "Yeah, that's kind of sex," while my mom was making dinner or something, and my parents took notice and thought it was time to sit me down. So I remember being in the car with my dad and he turned to me and he said, "So do you know what sex is?" And I did not know, but I thought I had an inkling. And what I said to my dad was, "Yes, of course, Dad. It's when two people are lying in a bed, one person lying stiff as a board and the other sort of leaning in and giving them a kiss. And then they proceed to have a conversation about how much they loved each other and just an open sharing of feelings. I think you are a very special person," one sexual partner might say to the other, and the other might say, "Thank you for that. Would you like to give me a kiss?" That's what I thought sex was. And you know what? 30 years old, and I still do, so.
Hi, I'm Rekha from College Humor. Click here to subscribe, click here for other fun stuff, and thank you so much for watching. I love my job, and I'm definitely not trapped in this video. Things are great.